And scooch this all back just a smidge. There we go. All right. I think we're okay. Let me get connected to the comment section, which I always have to do after I get on there because I can't do it while I'm loading for whatever reason. Because I do this all kinds of backwards. Should be here somewhere. If anybody's already in, if they could hit the like button for me, I'd appreciate it. I'm sure we don't. Oh, there we go. We got somebody in, and like I said, if you could hit the like button for me, there we go. I know we are connected, but we've been kind of slow on the internet today. We had some internet troubleshooting we had to do earlier, so we had to work on some internet today, or have them work on my internet. That's for sure. And let's see. Okay, so we're successfully connected. And we got Handsome Stone. I hear you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. I just got to get down the start of the show real quick. I did not do that yet. So let me do that real fast. Get that down. Because I thought that I already had it down, and I did not. So I got to get up here to the top shelf, and it has a bail handle, which is wrapped around all kinds of other stuff. So if I don't do this the right way, the whole thing's gonna come. I got a bad feeling some other stuff is gonna start coming with it. There we go. There we go. Okay. So we'll get right into that. Sorry you guys are having to look at that thing. So yeah, we're gonna be using tonight. Let me, oh, I thought I had this laid out a little better. Let me get this off to the side for just a second. Sorry, I thought I had this right behind me, but I had my Lodge pizza pan right behind me. So, let's see. Let's see, probably be bouncing at some point. Okay. What are we cooking? Good looking. We are making the Butterbeer Harry Potter cookies. That's what we are going to be throwing together tonight. Pretty excited about these. And we're going to be doing a nice twist on these. Hey, Fuzz Fork, what's up? But the twist on it is one of the things about the Butterbeer cookies is that they're made with pudding, and I've never tried a pudding based cookie before, but that's what we're going to be doing tonight. Let me move you over real quick and just show you we're going to be using this is at least 140, 150 year old 16-inch bale griddle, and I thought this would be a nice aesthetic for the Harry Potter theme tonight. Do this instead of a Lodge pizza pan. I might rotate those off a little bit. You'll be able to see on the back the gate marking and all that kind of thing, but I think that's kind of a cool piece. It's got the the original bale handle. At least if that ain't original, I don't know what is. But yeah, we're gonna be I might bounce between that one and the Lodge pizza pan, the 16-inch pizza pan. So we'll see if we have to do that or not, but we might end up having to do that. But anyway, so we'll just go over a little bit of what we got going on here. Normally I write these recipes down, but we kind of got short. We got short time today. We had some internet trouble early in the day that we had to get resolved, and we had one of the main ingredients we have is for the pudding. We use a 5.1 ounce box of pudding, which is the medium-sized box of pudding, and yeah, it's been in and out. Has yours been in and out too? Hey, honey, hey, Radagast, how are you, buddy? And happy birthday next week. Today is my my stepdad's 95th birthday. He is 95 years old today. So Chuck, if you're watching, happy birthday. I know you guys are going out at some point this evening to celebrate your birthday. Chuck still gets around pretty good. Does great. Sharp as a tack. So happy birthday, Chuck. Radagast, and happy birthday again to you coming up. 76 years old. That's awesome. But yeah, so we'll be using that one. Yeah, I'm sure Chuck appreciates it. Oh, it's yours is tomorrow then. Okay. Hey, William Hurt. But yeah, so one of the things was one of our big setbacks just a couple hours ago was when I picked up the pudding, I thought we had 2 boxes of butterscotch pudding, and we had 1 box of instant and one box of cook and serve. So and that wouldn't work. So I had to go today search, which turned into a humongous a search for instant butterscotch pudding. Tom's Food Factory, what's up? All right. So yeah, let's get into it. So what I've got in here, if you guys can see down into there, is I've got 2 sticks or 1 cup of softened butter. I've got to get my stick back from over there and stick that down in there. But we've got a cup of butter in here, and then we've got what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the liquid stuff, and I'll just go over that stuff. And that usually I write everything down like that, but today, being as it was, I wasn't able to. So then we've got 2 room temperature eggs, 2 room temperature eggs. Set that off to the side. And let's see, what else do I have? I have my softened butter. And I'm going to go ahead now, and I've got to get a teaspoon of vanilla, and I'm going to put that in there as well. I'm going to put that in, and I'm going to cream that up for a second before I put some of the other stuff in. And I'm also going to add the sugar. So you got a teaspoon. So far we're with 2 eggs, 2 sticks or 1 cup of butter. Then I've got, and my teaspoon of vanilla. That smells really good. It's already smelling good. And then I'm going to add in, what I've got here is 1 cup of brown sugar. This is light brown sugar. And 1 cup of regular. I use minimally refined sugar, which is really good for baking. So I got a cup of sugar and a cup of brown sugar. And we're going to take and we're going to cream those. We're going to cream that in with a paddle utensil or paddle attachment. There we go. And away we go. Let's get started with that. So I hope you guys can hear me over top of that. What's up, Smoking Bears? Busy but listening. All right, I'm busy but streaming. But yeah, I bet the Beagle is on guard duty since last night. The Beagle is constantly on guard duty. She's been going from the patio window and the kitchen window to the front window all day long. There's kids all over the place, and she is loving it. There's been little kids, I don't know why there's been little kids throughout the day all over the place, but I don't know if it was a holiday that I didn't know about. Maybe, oh, it's Easter. Easter started. Maybe they got done with Easter. So, yeah, there's been kids all over, so she's been on watch all day trying to get outside and terrorize them. So we'll just let that go for just a little bit. That butter's been softening. I actually threw that on the no school tomorrow. Yeah, Good Friday. There's Good Friday should be tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah. It's one of the things about being a hermit. I tend to miss, and my kids not being little anymore, some of the side holidays like Easter, I don't necessarily see. Yeah, Good Friday. That's what I thought. I thought Good Friday was tomorrow. But yeah, so we're going to cream that up, and then I'm going to set that right there. And I'm also going to add in so at this point right now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add in, what I've got here is 5.1 ounces of instant butterscotch pudding mix. And we're going to throw that in to the side here. And yeah, we couldn't find, like nowhere on the planet where I live do they have the 5.1 ounce boxes. So I had 2 boxes, and they're like 3.4 ounces or whatever. And yeah, so I had to do it that way. And so I just had to break them apart and then measure out 5 ounce, 5.1, which is basically a cup. If you have 2 boxes, it's a cup of mix. So that's all you need. You just need 1 cup of butterscotch instant pudding mix for this recipe. So that's already starting to turn, if you can see it in there. Yeah, hit the thumbs up, please. That'd be great. We got that. So we're doing that. So we've got that part done. Okay, so far. And now I'm going to add in, let me see here. So I've got 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Drop that in there and mix that around some. Mix that around a little bit, get that going in there. Then I've got, Ming, did we add anything else to my flour? We didn't, did we? No, we didn't. Okay, so we got that in there. And then I'm gonna take this back just a second, and then I'm gonna slowly add in the my flour, which will be 2 3/4 cup of flour. So we'll get that going right now. Just get my little spoon for that. There you go. All right. Yeah, I think we lost some folks because there's not a lot of folks showing up tonight that I can see. Some people kind of were put off by the Harry Potter theme for some reason. And this is just, we started getting into Harry Potter a few years ago when my daughter started liking the shows and all that. And then I sort of started watching them because I watch everything my kids watch. And I'm going to add this in. This is just straight up flour, all-purpose flour, King Arthur. And we're going to mix in. I'm just going to mix in just a little bit at a time. There we go. And then once I get everything in there, I'll put the other stuff in, and I'm going to scrape that down. And then once I get this, the dough itself has to sit for 15 to 20 minutes. So what I thought I would do is I just happen to have right next to me a couple examples. If I'm sure everybody that's in here right now was watching Cast Iron Chaos last night, and there was a certain part of it where he broke out his bundt pans, and Handsome Stone and I and some other people were kind of in there. Sea Glass Kaz, what's up, buddy? How are you? Oh, I'm sorry, Bam. Sorry, my monitor's on the other side of the room. How are you? Good to see you. Thank you for showing up. But the thing we did, well, the notices are, Cynthia, is that I post on my community page every week, usually Sunday nights, Monday morning, of what the theme to the show is. So I'm not sure, because I don't know how to do all that scheduled live where it just does that. I've been working on trying to figure that out. So it's always there on Sundays or Mondays of what the show will be for Thursday night. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So Handsome Stone and I and some other people in the chat were talking about the differences of the bundt pans, the Lodge bundt pans. Well, I just happen to have about 10 feet from me an example of today's the newly reissued Lodge bundt pan and the 1950s bundt pan. So I was going to show that while we're waiting for waiting for everybody, waiting for the batter to chill up. Sorry, I was just running trying to get this going. This was that whole thing of not having the right thing, the right mix before the show kind of had me running and going. So I gotta bring myself down a notch. And then we were And my daughter Ming was gracious enough to help me with everything today, which I really appreciated. So, let's see. Yeah, Sea Glass Kaz, you're very welcome. Okay, so we've got that part of it done. And let me just move one thing out of the way. Sorry to be out of the shot because I just had to put that thing back in my flour. I forgot to pull that scooper out of the flour. But I'll move this stuff out of the way because we're going to put in, now I had the chips chilled. So we've got 1 cup of white chocolate chips that we're going to put in. And these have been chilled. And then another 1 cup of butterscotch chips, or morsels as some folks call them. And we're gonna throw these in last. I didn't want to get them all too broke up, so I wanted to add these last. There we go. Got that locked down. And we'll just turn that up a little higher. That's why I've got this thing on here today. These plastic deals on the side are okay, but they're not the greatest. Pull that off there, off that side for a second, and knock that down. Knock down out of the way. And I've got tacos off to the side. I'm making tacos. My kitchen's multitasking tonight because I got tacos for after my daughter and I, after the show tonight. We're actually gonna watch some Harry Potter. But yeah, some folks were kind of, I thought, I don't know if they thought I was gonna do a Harry Potter theme and like dress up like, put a wizard thing on or something. I don't know what everybody thought, but some people were kind of put off by the Harry Potter deal, but it's just fun. It's just a way to make these cookies, and I was really intrigued with the recipe because it's done with pudding, and I'd never made added pudding to my cookies before. Is that just something I've never heard of, or what? Yeah, I just never. Tomorrow was supposed to be 83 in Columbus. I know, I can't wait. I'm going to mow my grass that I wanted to mow today, but things happen, so it wasn't a good day for grass mowing. That just didn't happen. So there we go. And so we've got these mixed in. I'm going to actually just take this stuff off and kind of manually mix that because this mixer's not having much fun with this. I was going to hand mix this to begin with, but the recipe called for me to put it in a blend in the KitchenAid, and I don't think that the KitchenAid is the route I needed to go with that, to be really honest. I think it would have just been easier for me to get in there and do it the old-fashioned way in a big bowl with a wooden spoon, because this is not what I had anticipated at all. This is really stiff. It's a really stiff dough, actually. Really stiff. Let me see if I can open this up without, knocking the camera over here. There we go. There we go. It's a really stiff mixer. It's a really stiff dough. And then on top of it, we're going to chill it for I'm going to give it 15 minutes because everything except for what was supposed to be, the chips were chilled. The eggs were room temperature, but it shouldn't take too long in a metal container to take this down. And this thing kind of sidetracked me. But yeah, I wanted to kind of go over the differences between the Lodge bundt pan of yesteryear, of the old days, and the one that just came out a couple years ago. And I couldn't find my notes to save my life last night. I looked for them, and I didn't have a chance today, but I could have swore that at some point, Lodge actually made a bundt pan in the 70s as well. Kind of like they did with the pineapple mold. So let's take this off of there. I'm done with that. It is some solid dough, and you weren't joking. It's some real solid dough. I'm really surprised. And like I said, this is one of those recipes that I have not tried until today. This is my first time making it, and it says to even chill it more, but I'm going to chill it more because I know that the ingredients we used were spot on. Those were absolutely everything, the amounts were spot on. Everything was on there, you know, but that's okay. And like I said, I've never done one with pudding in it. My mom was telling me, and she's gonna dig this recipe up, but she has a cookie mix, a chocolate chip cookie recipe for Danish malted chocolate chip cookies. And you use malted pudding in that. Now, I don't know what the difference is in malted pudding as compared to regular pudding, but I'm gonna figure that out. Ooh, there's a chip that got away. No, we'll leave no chips unturned here. But yeah, and then I've got the oven, and usually, you know, your cookie recipes, they go from anywhere from 350 degrees Fahrenheit to, what is it, 325, but this one's going at 375. And so we're gonna see how that goes. I'm actually gonna toss this bad boy, in there. I got a little bit of butter on that, which I'm not gonna go incredibly crazy with, I'm not going to go incredibly crazy with any kind of like oil or greasing up the pan, because there's a lot of butter and all kinds of other stuff. I am going to drop just a little bit of oil, a little bit of baking spray. Are we on there? Yeah, we're on here. But I'm just going to drop a little bit of baking spray on there and just kind of take a paper towel, and so there was a little bit of butter and that. And I'm not going to go, like I said, I'm not going to go nuts with this. And I'm just going to lightly grease this pan. And then I'm going to move the mixer out of the way. And then we'll take a look at those bundt pans. If everybody's interested, if anybody doesn't mind being completely bored with me nerding out on the differences between these pans. So, but I thought it was fun, and some people were talking about in the comments section, and it just so happened the same people are here tonight. So there we go. Get vintage and let me see, Modern Lodge. I also think there is a Carolina Cooker bundt. Yeah, there is. If it's not Carolina Cooker exactly, there is another one. Just it's one of those companies, and I don't think it's Bayou. It's either that or Bayou Classic. One of those two. But yeah, that is one big round griddle. Yeah, it's a 16-inch. It's an unmarked, but it's gate marked, unmarked and gate marked. It's marked up as I would say, but yeah, I've had it since 1997. I got it at the 1997 Coon Dog races in Kenton, Ohio. That's where I got it. But those cookies are already mixed, so let's get those. I'm going to move those out of our way and clear us a spot and get that in there chilling. And move just the little bit of containers that I had out of the way and wipe this off, because I'm going to put these on there. I'm going to bring these other things on. Let's see. We'll just go that way. I'm going to wipe this down. Move the vanilla. Move the cooking spray. I'm just going to lay one of my cloths down in case I got some kind of moisture going on that countertop, because I already noticed today when I have one of those towers. I have one of those tower racks from Lodge. Just one of these old ones. We'll just put one of these old hand towels down. It'll be all right. There we go. Just pop that on there. And voila. So there we have that. And then I'll bring over move my stand out of the way. You guys straight here. There we go. And my hands are let me get some gloves on because my hands are kind of damp from washing them and everything. So I don't want to handle the cast iron while my hands are wet because I'm going to put it back on the rack. And being as they are in the other room, in that hall, some of them, they might be a little dusty, and I'll bring a rag with me to knock it off. Yeah, they're dusty. So I'll just do a little dust. I mean, it's not terrible. I do dust my house, but that rack doesn't sometimes the back hides some spots. So we'll start with this one, and I really am a huge fan of these vintage bundt pans. I really like these, and I wish I'm not a cake person, so I don't use them very often. Sometimes I'll just use them I'll probably use these here at some point, and sorry, drop my rag, but I use them sometimes just to make cakes, and I'll give them away. So I do that quite a bit to use them up, because we're not cake folks. And at Christmas time, occasionally I'll make the Tom Cruise white chocolate coconut cake. And that's one of the reasons I really wanted a bundt cake. But we'll get it up there. Hopefully you can see it pretty well. And I know you can't feel it, but the inside of this, now I think this one was a really well loved. I think whoever had this used this quite a bit because there's lines to the inside. And even after I seasoned it and restored it, because I got it and it was kind of in some rough shape, but I did do a restoration on it. I've used it a few times, but the line was there when I got it. And that just never went away. And I've used it maybe 6-8 times, I guess, since I've had it in the last couple of years. But the inside of that is really, I mean, this is vintage. It's super, super smooth. And even on the insides, there's you got to get to the real inside part of it. And like right in here, that's the only real rough spots on these. And one of the ways that you can tell these, now let me take my glasses off because my glasses are for far away, not close. So I can't see what the heck I'm doing. But if you look, and I don't know if you guys, I'm going to look along with you, right here on that edge, there's an L. Let me see. Are you guys in? Let me see if I got you guys in here on this. Okay. Sorry, Adja. But there's an L or a 7, and I believe it to be an L. Some say it's an L, 7, and some say it's an L. I believe it to be an L basically for lodge. But right there on that corner, or on that handle, there's that. And that's on all the old lodges. Now, let me see if I can turn it around that way. Maybe you can see it a little bit better. But that L right there on the handle is how you know that it's a lodge. And I did a pretty big deep dive. And then some have they have dots on the handles. And I read somewhere a while back that when these were, that back then they used to call, they also referred to this as I've had 3 dots, and this other side I've had 3 dots and single dot. Yeah, it's an L. Like I said, I was just letting you know, some people call it a 7. Some people say it's an L because it looks the same, and I didn't know if I could get a good shot of it. Because sometimes when I get close to the camera, it kind of fuzzes out. So, but I read somewhere that there was two versions of this in the 50s. And there was I believe it said there was a size. You know what? I'm going to scratch that because I don't want people to take that as a grain. I knew that with a grain of salt, but sorry, 3 pots, single dot on each. And but they used to call these back in the 50s. They called them a picnic skillet. I've read that too, and picnic skillet. A picnic pan, the Lodge picnic pan. They were also referred to as that in the 1950s. But yeah, that's the original. And I'll bring out the other one, which I was kind of disappointed because I bought this one, and I got this at a decent price. I paid like $75 altogether, and that was shipped to me and everything. And because I had wanted to get one of the new reissued, the Legacy series, because I have a friend of mine that works down by Lodge who said any second they're going to do this. They're going to put these out. And after a while, you know, this never happened. So I ended up going and buying this one, the vintage one, offline. But then, this one is dusty. This is the one. This one sits the bottom shelf, and I can't see it. I didn't realize how dusty it was. But I've got a little lint-free rag. We'll wipe that down, and I'll give them a dusting while I'm off. But the one thing I did notice about it is when I was checking that out, I did catch the dog the other day licking it. My dog was licking one of my pans. And then I looked at it too, and there's a little rust spot where she's been going, probably because dogs are weird, and she'd been licking that one spot. Now I got a little rust spot on it, so I'm gonna have to take some and do that. But if you put these side by side, there's the new one. That's this year's cast, or what they're selling now, and the reissued model. And the inside of this, oh, it is dusty. Like I said, this is on the bottom shelf of my rack. But the inside of this, and I'll make sure you guys are in there really, really well. But it's rough. I mean, it's a rough. I've used this one too, and I've used this one to make my Tom Cruise white chocolate coconut cake as well, and along with a pineapple upside down cakes and some other cakes. Cornbread. I have done bread in these. I'd like to do my bread sometimes where I'll just put it in there and let it rise on the inside and have bundt cake style bread. And you can see up here at the top, it has, you know, definitely the reissue with the Lodge logo here. And I wanted to, while I was had it out, because I did a video a long time ago about these little guys, these little pot holder sides from Lodge, and I wanted to see if they fit while I had it out. So I had these out too. And because there's nothing, that's one thing about bundt cake pans, is they're hard to work with. And nope, they do not fit. I just thought that might be one of those that fit on there, but they don't. Okay, well, that test has been debunked. But yeah, that doesn't fit on there. And they fit on about everything else. So I wanted to check and see if they do. But the thing of it is too, and it's hard to get a shot of it at the same time, unless I kind of let me move myself back a little bit. It's hard to get with one camera, and you can't see it. But the vintage one, the one on the right, is just a little bit taller than this one. But this one seems a little more, it's more slender. Like they wouldn't stack. Like these, they just seem like it's a little more slender than the other. They kind of fit on each other like that. That's about how they fit together. Or like, I don't want to get them in there too much. They fit together on there like, you know, like so. So that's another way. That's another thing check out about them. But this just seems to be, as far as the inside, flip this over without smashing my glasses. But the insides, if you put them next to each other, can you see this? The difference of the thickness as well. And it's weird that Lodge was saying that the new ones have a really, really high inefficiency rate. Like they couldn't get them to mold and not crack and get them ready for production when they're literally a third thicker. I wish I had my micrometer handy and I would take the reading on that. If you can see it, I'll put it right up there a little better. But if you look on top of there, and the noticeable difference is that's so much thicker. And I would think, in all honesty, and the little bit I know about metallurgy, you would think that the thicker, you would have a lot more trouble with a thicker metal than you would with thinner metal, because it would be harder to, the molding would be, wouldn't you, I think the thicker one would be a little more, it just wouldn't have any movement. But anyway, or the other way around, you know, I don't know. But you can definitely tell this one is way thicker than the vintage one from the 50s. But yeah, you got your picnic, and this one sits up about maybe an eighth of an inch higher than that one does, than the vintage. The modern one, the reissued, what was that called? Heritage? I know this stuff until I get in front of a camera, but it's the Heritage series. Is that what it was? But yeah, the Heritage series, or whatever the reissue was, and then the thinner one, the vintage one, you can definitely see the difference. So yeah, I just thought maybe we'd pull that out and take a look at it real quick. Sorry to nerd out, but that's I gotta see what you guys are saying in the comment section. That's the thing that sucks about my eyesight, is I can see everything close up, but I can't see anything. Yeah, the rougher, I mean, as much as you put into, I mean, it seems like, and I don't care what I see people make a bundt cake in. I mean, you're basically, it looks like your Legacy series. That's it, Bob. Thank you very much. Yeah, 100%. The Legacy series. And I have just about everything. I have some pieces from the Legacy series, but I always forget what it's called. They have so many different series. Lodge has about 50,000 series anymore. But yeah. Sorry, I got on tangent there for a second, but yeah, it just seems like when anybody ever makes a bundt cake, it's basically deep fried. There's, it's covered in Crisco and flour and everything else. I mean, the roughness definitely in a bundt pan isn't going to make any difference. And it doesn't, that doesn't matter if you're doing it in aluminum or if you're doing it in, or in cast iron. I mean, it's no matter what, aluminum, tin, it doesn't make any difference. People are putting tons of stuff in there to do it. And I've done it, and I'm not condemning anybody, because I do it too when I put that stuff in there. When I make a bundt cake, that stuff's in there. And that's one of the hard things about doing the, I keep going back to the Tom Cruise white chocolate coconut cake that I make. That's a really tough cake to make, because you have to use so much stuff to keep it from sticking, that it kind of, if you don't do it right, it burns the chocolate chips that are in it, because it has like Ghirardelli white chocolate chips. Well, the same chocolate chips I have in these cookies we're making today. But yeah, that's the difference. I just thought I'd show them, because I just literally, when we were watching the show, when Cast Iron Chaos was doing his show last night, I literally had these two like right next to each other, and so I thought I'd just kind of show them off. They need dusted. They need used. Maybe I need to make somebody a cake. Somebody want me to make you a cake? I'll make you a cake. But like I said, I'm not a big cake person. That's never been my thing. Even when I was a kid, my mom would make me cake when I was a little kid, but as I got older, I got like cheesecakes. I've just never been a big, even ho-hos and stuff like that. They're cool, but I don't know. It's just not always been my thing. I've always been a pie kind of guy. But yeah, let me grab a quick drink. Let's, okay, put you back over here with this one. If you're not bored and you don't have to sit and look at a towel for just a second while I grab a little something to sip on for a minute. And we'll get I'm gonna get the other thing out of here. But yeah. Yeah, that's what I should do. I should make somebody a cake. Maybe if Handsome, let's see. I missed what Handsome Stone said. Maybe if Handsome has the web address, you can order direct. There we go. But yeah, so we're at 375 on the stove. This has been chilled up. I'm gonna get, let me see if I can find one. Even today, I was so short in front of such short time in front of to prep today, that normally I write the recipe down. If I don't already have it written down, I write it down, and then I have everything going. Let me grab I think for this, I'm going to use an ice cream scooper, so let's do that. Is that okay, I got you way over there. Sorry, guys. This has just been a discombobulated show tonight. I hate to say show, actually live stream. But it's just been one of those kind of days. That's some room. But this is some stout cookie dough. You guys see that? That's no joking around. Got some room. And this some room. I might just tear these in half. We'll tear those in half to do the first round and see how that goes. Because I'm not sure. These are pretty, like I said, they're pretty stout, so I don't know how they're going to turn out. So we'll just do a couple. But this makes, I was really surprised at this too. This makes a ton of cookies. This little deal here, it makes like a lot. I think it was like 5 batches of cookies. So I don't know if you guys want to stick around and watch me make five batches, five dozen cookies. And I'm even thinking about, I think I'm going to grab up, once I get this first one in, we're going to get the other pizza pan going, and we're going to do like 2 sheets at a time. So let's get you guys over here a little better. And I think we're going to go about that size. I would say that's maybe an ounce and a half, 2 ounces of dough per each one. And then they're supposed to go about 9 minutes a piece, 7 to 9. So let's throw this first round in here and toss those in and set my timer. I'll go 8 minutes on these and see what happens. There's 8 minutes. Still in practice. Okay. So let's get this one going. And once again, I'm going to take this, I'm just going to wipe a little butter on here. I'm not going to go too, I'm not big on oiling. Once I did the other one, I was like, man, I'm really not big into oiling these down too much. They don't really need a lot of oil, I don't think, usually, because they generally have. Everything I make in them seems to have oil in it. Like if I make like last night on this thing, I made pizza and I didn't use anything on it, and it just slid right off. And any of the cheese that fell off, it just flicked right off. So I'm not going to overdo. I'm just going to add some butter for some flavoring. I don't think I'm going to use any more of that oil. But we'll see how that first batch comes out, and then I'll move the racks. I'll move the rack one spot, and then go from there and see how these do it. 7, 8 minutes. That's what the recipe calls for. Well, let's just go there. But yeah, butterbeer. And if you guys have never had butterbeer flavored anything, and you're like me who kind of likes something a little different, butterbeer itself, I got the kids for the stocking stuffers this year. I got butterbeer chocolate bars. And it's kind of like a chocolate bar with caramel kind of in the center of it. You know, you get what, 8 pieces or whatever. And I think you can get more than 7. That's what I'm going to see how they melt. I think I can too, Radagast, but I'm going to see how these do, because this dough is super, super, it's real thick. And so I don't know how it's going to melt down. And there's a lot of butter in here. So we're going to see what happens. But yeah, anyway, I was, so I got the chocolate bars for the kids for the stocking stuffers this year. And we've gotten butterbeer, the drink, at Cracker Barrel Home Store. And that was really good. And then I got the butterbeer flavored goldfish crackers about a month ago. And those goldfish crackers, I wanted to do a short on them, but I ate, Ming and I ate, we each split one, the first bag we had. I went back and got another bag, and I ate that. And I didn't realize that it was sort of a limited edition, and they wouldn't have any more. So when I went back again, they didn't have them, and I didn't do the video. I was going to do a video on it, and I never got a chance to do it. And those things were fantastic. Those were so good. They tasted like almost like a cereal, and it's got such a it's a butterscotch flavor, but it's like butterscotch creamy. I don't know what the secret ingredient is to it so far, but I don't. On this, when I saw this recipe, I was actually going to go with doing half butterscotch and half either a French vanilla pudding or just the regular vanilla pudding. I thought about. Where are we at? Have everybody still in? Still going? Okay. So you can get more on it. Oh, okay, that was just it. Thanks, Handsome. Still in practice? Okay. Yeah, I missed a lot of that. Sorry, I was getting this first part. This is where I kind of am on cruise control. Once I get everything I wanted to get done out of the way, now I'm kind of in cruise control mode, which is where I like to be. I like to be at this point in the show. And they already smell really, really good. They are smelling super good, to be really honest with you. They are smelling fantastic. It's got that butterscotch smell, and I think even if you don't like butterscotch, the flavor, I think you would like butterscotch. I think smells good, like Werther's Originals and their caramels. I have Werther's Originals in there in the living room in the candy tray, in the candy dishes, and I do that. I mean, I don't like them all the time, but I do like butterscotch, and I like Werther's for sure. That's kind of more of what butterbeer is. It's more Werther's-y flavored than a butterscotch. All right. All right, let's see what time we're getting to. Let me see how these are. Turn the light on. I'm gonna get a look and see what's going on with these. I think they could go a little longer, but they still have 2 minutes, and maybe I'll make them smaller. Maybe that could be. I'll mush them down, give them a little flattening. And I don't have I didn't preheat the cookie sheet, so that might slow down the first batch. And I was trying to think if there's anything we could. let's see, butterscotch. I love butterscotch too. And you know, going back to the whole thing about not being able to find the butterscotch. So I went to we have a dollar store in town, and I went down there just to see if they had one more other box. And they didn't have them. And I went to 2 other stores to find instant butterscotch ice cream, or butterscotch. Now you got me saying it. Butterscotch pudding. Yeah, that wasn't cook on the stove. And then every place I asked where I said, "Would you have anything other than the cook on the stove?" And they were like, "Well, it's the same thing. All you got to do is to add the milk and heat it up." And I'm like, yeah, I just walked and I just left. I'm like, you don't understand. I'm like, and I said that, I prefaced that to begin with. I'm like, it's for a recipe. And then they were like, well, this is the same thing. And I'm like, nah, you just don't, you're not getting it. Butterscotch soda. Yeah, that's like I said, what the Cracker Barrel has. It has the Butterbeer drink, and then they also have butterscotch soda, I believe, too. Let's see. I worked at my grandma's. KQ butterscotch sundaes were my favorite. Butterscotch is like, there's butterscotch, and like as far as flavors go, there's some that are just sort of forgotten that people don't order, but when you have it, it's so good. Butter rum's another one. Butter rum lifesavers are still the best, other than, well, I don't know. All lifesavers are good, I think, except for pineapple, but let's see. I think I'm going to give these another 2 minutes because I think we're going to give it just enough time to, because I didn't warm up the pan, and I think that warming up the pan is going to be the key with this stuff, to be honest. Let me see. I have a question for you, please. You suggest for a sizzle server, wood holders keep them pretty? I don't know. I use, for mine, Cynthia, I just use, oh shoot, the cutting board oil. I use cutting board oil for mine. That's what I use on mine. So that's how I do mine, and I do that with my utensils too. That food grade mineral oil, because it's gonna soak it up, and after a day or two, it's gonna they're gonna dry. They're gonna be dry, so it doesn't, you know. But I do know what you're saying, to kind of preserve them a little bit. You definitely don't want to use furniture polish or anything like that. Or, you know, I would hate to see somebody, you imagine if somebody epoxy. Yeah. That's what I use on mine. I mean, it works for me. I never really put much thought into it. I just, after I use them, I put that, I don't store my sizzle servers on my and the plates together, the platters. I don't do them together, to be really honest. And I've got 4 sizzle servers over there, but I set them off to their side like they're dishes. So that, because I was always afraid the bottoms of them would rust. But I've got a bunch of sizzle servers. Let's see. Yeah, that's what mine are Lodge as well. Yeah, for the sizzle server platters. Yeah, that's exactly what I use, this mineral oil, and it seems to work just fine. But like I said, I mean, I'll even swing around here for just a second, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's see here. If you go up there, you can see on the rack, there's my sizzle servers, some of them, and then over there on top of the red 7-quart double Dutch oven, there's my platters, and that's how I stow them. So there we go. Go back around over here. Sorry, get you guys back around. But that's how mine are always been stored, like that. get these out. Yeah, I'd say these are done. Those are done in there. We did a couple extra minutes to make up for not having the pan warmed up, and we'll probably have to do that for the next one as well. Goofy sounds correct. But yeah, I just stow them that way, Cynthia, to be honest. Oh. Let's see. Okay, let me see. What does it say? Mineral oil can spoil though if you use too much, so don't build it up. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Let's see. Let's get those out there. Oh, those look nice. There we go. Pull those out. I'm gonna slip the other ones in right quick. But I mean, those were about the same size as I did the other ones, and I don't know if I would have wanted to crowd them up much more than that, to be honest. So we'll go on this. We'll go 9 minutes. We'll go 9 minutes on that first round. But those look pretty darn good. They were just starting to kind of golden on top. I mean, they're soft in the middle right now, but there's nothing that will get a lot of use. Just want to preserve the wood. Yeah, I would say I've never, I don't use my sizzle servers as far as with their platters anymore. That I use them a lot in the summertime, but in the winter I don't. And I don't have any problem with getting them out in the wintertime and setting the hot platters on them and then thinking, oh, these smell. I don't ever remember that. I wouldn't even have thought twice about it, to be really super honest. Won't be able to. I was just bitching about this spatula today. I want to definitely get a different spatula. And I've got other spatulas, but there's just none that are like really long and flexible and have everything and solid. Like a nice old Echo. Those old Echo spatulas were nice. They were flexible, because I've got the other style and I like them, but they got big holes in them, so stuff falls through. Well, we'll get these off to the side. There we go. And I'm gonna crack that. We had a lot of kids outside earlier, so I shut the door for a minute, but I'm gonna crack that door and let these come in and cool. There we go. Yeah, we just threw that little bit of shortening on there or a little bit of grease with the with that on there. They look so good. I know they smell really, really good. They smell really, really good. Make sure there's a little bit of crap on there stuck, but nothing that's not gonna. There's a little bit of something left behind, but it's nothing one monkey's not gonna stop the show as far as that goes. Oh, I forgot to move that. I got to talking, but they put off a lot of oil anyway. I mean, they're full of butter. There we go. That's pretty shiny. There's not much. It's got a little tacky on there, but I just did a lot of sugar. It's all sugar. But man, the house smells good. The house smells really. I mean, they have just such a different. It's not even. I don't know. It's that nice mix of vanilla with the butterscotch instead of just doing all that stuff. Just butterscotch. And that's why, like I said, I wanted to do a half pudding, half vanilla, half butterscotch with that. Yeah, and peanut butter chip. Oh, that'd be good. I've never had that. I have never had that, Tom. And I'm gonna set that off to, how do I want to do this then? That's the thing. I don't have a really big rack to put these, like the drying rack over here. I only have that one. So let me see. We might have to do some, I'm gonna have to do some rearranging here for just a second. So I can put the other ones onto there. And I'm also, like I said, I'm also making, I got tacos going on for later over in the corner on the other burner. It's been sitting there simmering forever today. Since about 3 o'clock it's been simmering. And just I used a flank steak and nice big flank steak and all that. Let's see. So I'll set that thing off to the side. We only got about 4 minutes, and I'm going to, let me see. I think I'm going to go ahead and do some more of these. I'm going to put the other one on there, and I'm going to set it off to the side until the other one's done, because there's only a couple minutes until the other ones are done. So I'm going to go rogue here and do it that way. Yeah. Let's see. That on there. Yeah, we'll get these going. We'll give them these a little head start. I saw a TikTok of a taco boat. Try it tomorrow. Oh, TikTok taco boats. I saw this lady make a taco thing the other day, and she was using wontons in a cupcake pan, and she was using the wontons, and then she would bake them up. And I thought that looked really, really good. I'd like to try that. Mama's boy, the lucky dog. Let's see. On top of that, he's the only child. Boy, some days I wish I was an only child. That's for sure. That is one for certain. I wish before I was an only child. But let's see. I'm a fan of crescent roll taco bake. I've never had that, but that sounds good. I'll look that one up, because I've said this before when I do the taco meat videos. I eat tacos and Chinese like all week long. I have pretty much American style breakfast. Tomorrow this weekend Sunday we are doing we're just going to be doing a corned beef hash, but we're going to be doing corned beef hash on a cloud. I'm going to be doing that one. I'm going to be doing that, and that's something that I've never seen anybody else do it, but I like doing it. I've always called it corned beef on a cloud, so that should be pretty good. And I'll try and sneak one more of these in. These are good sized cookies too. Let's see, I'll set that. That's probably going to cause a sticky spot. Move this over a little bit. Let's see. Got about 2 minutes for the other ones, so I'll do some only child to boot. Yeah, I couldn't imagine that. Like I said, but we've got, let me see, decent sized cookies. So we got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13. So we got a baker's dozen here. We've got 7 at least in there. So there's 20, and then I've got about this much left of the batter. So yeah, and these are bigger than average cookies, I would say. They're definitely bigger. That kind of looks, and on the screen, that looks like corned beef hash. Speaking of corned beef hash, that does look just like corned beef hash cookies. Who wants one? Come on, get you some of that. Get you a nice corned beef cookie. They are, Val, these are really, the batter, I'm over here in the back, I kind of doing like a pill-sized rolling little pill-sized balls of them and just smash it. They kind of eating them. They are really good. Let me get a little sip of some Gatorade real quick. Hot in this kitchen. Too hot. Should have made a big old cookie with the leftovers. What would I do with a big old cookie? Where am I going to store it? Where am I going to store a big old cookie? I just have to break it up to put it in the cookie jar. That's what I have to do. I'm probably going to end up putting bagging some up, and I'll do a bag of them and put them in the freezer for later. Maybe should have done that with the extra that batter I got left. Maybe I should have just done that with that. Just done all that. But I was going to ask you guys, I was thinking about moving these back to 8 o'clock. Would anybody be opposed to 8 o'clock, or do they like 7 o'clock as it is? Not sure if anybody doesn't have an opinion, but put 1 if 8 o'clock would work better, and 2 if 7 o'clock works okay for you now. I'm gonna give that just 1 more minute. I think these cookies are like, well, we did say that one wasn't heated up too, so let's give it another minute. And like this one's good and warm. Let's see. Did you taste the cookie dough? Yeah. Oh wait, I thought. Yeah, did you taste the cookie dough? They're not real cookies until somebody eats the dough. Yeah, if you're talking about this one, yeah, I did. I tasted the dough. It's good. Let's see, it doesn't harbor the bundt pan. I'll keep an eye out. Another antique flea market event, Rebel Roast in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. It sounds really familiar. Let's see, I'm usually hoping in the shower when the show starts. Good thing it's not a Zoom. I like 8. 7 sometimes rushes me. That's what 8 p.m. for me. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking that. See, the reasoning to begin with that I did 7 o'clock is that Luis used to have a show on. So I knew that if I had 2 hours, I generally wouldn't run into his show. Because of our time differences. His show comes on at my house at 9 o'clock, which is really his 6 o'clock there. But 9 o'clock's just too late. 9 o'clock's too late for me. It's not that I don't mind staying up cooking. It's the cleanup afterwards that I wouldn't want to do it at 9. 8 p.m. Okay. It's now. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know the time zones are a lot different from here to there. But that's why I was wondering. And like I said, if it really to me doesn't matter who's doing the show at this point. If I'm just going to do mine one. Yeah, that's what I kind of thought, man. I was thinking Thursdays at 8 p.m. because that was always prime time when people could sit down, and even where I'm at, people want to sit down at 8 p.m. and I'm going to give that another minute. I hate to keep doing this. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I'm thinking 8 p.m. is a little easier for everybody, to be super honest. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Here, I at least give you cookie cam. You can at least look at the cookies. And it smelled so good in here today. Ming earlier, she made subs in the oven, like sub sandwiches, like deli style subs in the oven. And then I've been making the taco meat for a little while. And the taco meat's been going. I actually have to stir the taco meat over right quick. We'll bring you over here. You can check out the taco meat for a second. But I'm just gonna stir my taco meat. I used flank steak tonight, and I'll drag you guys over here. But I'm gonna have to get the cookies out in a second. But yeah, these are just getting out ready now where they're falling apart. If you guys can see that. There's nothing in there but taco meat and some onions, but it's that taco meat recipe that I do. And this is a flank steak version of it, if you guys can see. And it's just now starting to fall apart, and it's smelling so good. I've just been having it simmer, just barely simmer for the last 3 hours or so. I didn't trim any fat and do nothing. But enough of that. I gotta get the cookies out. So I'll throw that back on there real fast. I just want to show you that real quick. There you go. Those cookies are done. Their cookies are done now. They're starting to crack. And put those there. But yeah, I don't think I could have gotten more. With the size, these cookies are big. So, benefit of flank versus ground beef. Oh my gosh. That's, flank steak is way better than ground beef. It's just way more flavorful. And the best one that I do, and it may just be the butcher that I get my stuff from, but generally I do skirt steak. The way it comes apart, I mean, if you're gonna cook for a bunch of people, I mean, ground beef is it has its benefits. But if you're just gonna cook for, like, it's just me and Ming, and I might take some of these and basically. Yeah, that's almost like Cincinnati chili if you did it like that. But Cynthia, be so, like a lot like Cincinnati chili is what it would be. Let me see. Then I have to rush home to catch the live feed. Okay, yeah, I think we'll just start doing 8 o'clock from here on out. And you know, I'm generally only bringing in. I've got a lot of people that are watching, but they're not signed into the chat. So for anybody out there that's not signed into the chat, we'll start probably 8 o'clock as of next week. We'll start doing it at that time. That works for me actually a lot better too. And we do have a lot of people in the live. To be honest, it shows up here, but the people that aren't signed into the chat, there's actually still a lot of people watching. I mean, if you go back, like the one breakfast one we did a couple weeks ago where we made the sugar-free pancakes, there was 1,000 viewers, and I don't get many viewers. Live streams don't get a lot of viewers after the fact. It's the ones you get during your show, honestly, that you get. And so I think, so for the folks out there watching that aren't signed into the chat, yeah, 8 o'clock, I think, what they used to call back in the day, when NBC had all those killer shows on Thursday nights, must-see TV. I think we're just going to go Thursdays at 8 o'clock, must-see TV time. I think that's going to be the best route to go. I forgot to set my timer. Let's go 6 minutes. We'll do 6 minutes. We've been adding minutes to that. But yeah, we'll just do must-see TV time. For those of you that remember that must-see TV on NBC, was it Friends and Cheers and what was the Frasier? And then they had, sometimes, I think they had, what was it, ER or something? When that was on at 10 was ER? I can't remember anymore. Night Court. Anybody remember Night Court? Yeah, Night Court time. Let's see. Yeah, I honestly think that we should, that's the thing though. I mean, that was, when, well, I keep messing around with time zones, but yeah, I think 8 o'clock would be pretty cool. I'd be down for 8 o'clock. There we go. And then let's load up that last little bit on here and get that going. But these came out. Let me spring over here real quick. Those are a nice looking cookie. They really are. And let me check and see if these other ones, the first rounds, are starting to check the bottom out. Yeah, the bottom's nice. Bottom's nice on there. Yeah, let's just see how these are. Yeah, those need a little more time. I wouldn't say that's too brown on the bottoms. Love Night Court. Yeah. Bull was your dude. Yeah, Bull was cool. But yeah, these look real nice. I can't wait to test some out. There we go. Drop those on there. Drop that there. Yeah, here we go. act like I know what I'm doing. Make a little bigger. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Might be able to get all that in there. We'll see. We'll see if we can't get the rest of that, because that's all. This is all I have left. It's just this little bit. Yeah, I think we'll just make one big cookie and call it a day. And then we'll do a taste tester. A nice bottom is a good thing. Yeah, I think so too. I really think that I might just go ahead and pull them just a little bit earlier, so they're not as, maybe not quite as brown, because the recipe calls for 9 minutes, and it's not too dark on the bottom. I mean, that's just, you see that? I mean, does it look? It's that's the thing with these. They kind of get washed. Your color on the TV screen, my monitor screen, is a little bit darker than what I actually am at. So. There we go. Let's see. Get those over there. Get that on there, and I'll set that off to the side. We got those ready to go. These only have a couple more minutes in there, and we'll do the last round. And we'll get some of these little pieces. Oh well, nothing's perfect. And let me get that moved off to the side. Don't need these gloves, I don't think, anymore. I just get used to wearing those gloves so much, because I use them when I do the cast iron cure and when I do my beard stuff, and I have gloves on so much during the day that I forget sometimes to take them off. I just get used to it. Trying to be sort, you know, I'm always working in a sanitary environment and trying not to get my hands onto stuff. So I got those darn gloves on all the time. Let me grab a drink, check the comment section. See how many folks we got in here tonight. Yeah. I didn't know how everybody would do with cookies, but I really wanted to do some cookies today. And these Butterbeer cookies sound so good. That's actually down here on the bottom left is like when I looked up the recipe, that's what they look like. They look just like that. Mingo, you gotta come here and look at these cookies. I work with dirty stuff with Cintas. Dirty stuff gloves. You go through about 20, 30 a day. I don't go through that many, but I've kind of had to learn to be conservative with my gloves. But they look pretty good. But so I ended up wearing them as long as I don't do them like I don't forget what I was going to say. I got distracted there for a second. But yeah, I just kind of, okay. Let's see. Let's turn the timer off. But yeah, I end up leaving them on, and as long as I'm not like leaving them on so much that it'd be like working with dirty hands, I try to conserve. I do think I'm going to go another couple minutes with these, because even with the cast iron warmed up, it still seemed to be not done on the top. They're not getting brown enough on the top. Let's see. I'm addicted to my hand gloves too. My nails look dirty when you cast iron stains. Yeah, I mean, in the summertime, I am covered in rust and old grease and everything else, which is like today, I really wanted to get into my garage and start getting the E-tank ready to go. I got to get last year's water out of there. I want to change my, oops, somebody's stealing a cookie.
I'm just taste testing.
Taste test away. But, But yeah, and once it gets ready here, you know, get the lye. I'll get my lye. I don't know if I'm gonna redo my lye tank or not. I might let that go another year. Because I add just a little more water, a little more lye to it, and call it a day with that kind of stuff. And those black gloves stain them too? What do you mean? The black, do you mean the gloves will stain your hand that color? I made my own cast iron oil, this mixture, and let that soften my skin. Cast iron oil. Let's see. But yeah, I'm about ready to taste some cookies myself. Mm-hmm. Are they good? Mm-hmm. You should get me a glass of milk.
I should. The combinations of like flavors and textures is really good.
You like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nana was talking about she was talking about making she used to make malted pudding mix.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, it was like almost like Ovaltine mix. Yeah. So, I'd be down for all that. Okay, there we go. That's why I had the door. That's why I had the door closed earlier, because there's a lot of activity over next door. I think I'm gonna try and pull this one. I think I'm gonna try and let that get in there. They seem kind of shiny yet though. Like they're not. We'll try it out. What's the worst thing that can happen? I mean, it's not like I don't have a ton of cookies here. But I'm gonna give it 10 minutes on the Lodge pizza pan and see how that goes. Plus, I'm making these really big. Or not really big, but bigger. Bigger than your average size chocolate chip cookie. The gloves, let me see, black nitrile doesn't stain my hands. The gloves that are worn with rubber palms and fingers dipped in rubber stain my hands. Yeah, I've used those before, but it's been a long, long time ago that I had to mess with those. So here's these that came out. Those are looking okay. Not doing too bad. I'm gonna let them kind of hang out there. I'm gonna see if these other ones can be, oh, sorry about that. I gotta kick this stand at least once or twice per episode. Maybe I'll get the green screen out. Maybe I'll do a green screen trick at some point. That's always pretty rad, if you ask me. But I think overall though the texture of them's nice. I probably should pull them off a little earlier. They are seeming kind of a little drier, but so yeah, I think the optimal time is about 9 to 10 minutes at 375, and preheat the. You don't have to preheat it to like make like cornbread, but I think if you preheated it enough to where it was warm, kind of warmed it up with the stove and took it out, I think that'd be about where you want to be. I love the smoker. You can eat more without guilt. Yeah, there you go. That's a great idea. Yeah. There's the neighbor, and the neighbors have their dog out too, so my dog's got to go and see what their dog's doing. Let's see. I love the price, free, 99 cents. Yeah. Let's see, my pockets usually end up with a few that make it home. Whoops. Yeah. Let's see here. Put those over there. But oh, and I threw those in there, right? Yep. Let's get 8 minutes on the timer and go from there. I think that's about all they need. I don't think I need to have them on there as long. Because I think that might have been, not that they're going to be bad or anything. I just like I like a soft cookie. And the soft, sometimes it doesn't, not just, the amount of oil that's in a cookie, but how long you cook it. I mean, that's, I like a cookie that's just enough to dip, but not enough to where when you eat it, it just turns into dust. Because that's no good either. If you're eating a cookie and it turns into dust, I mean, that's just not That's no fun either. Yeah, this is how many we've gotten so far. I kind of lost count, but that's where we're at. For anybody with OCD that wants to tell me how many there are out there, that'd be that's okay too. That'd be cool. But I think that's the last. I won't need the other. I won't need the. I won't need the 16-inch round griddle any longer. I didn't see Huey tonight, unless I missed him in the thing. I did catch his live after Mudbrooker the other night. I'm a pen klepto too. You know, it's funny, when I smoked, when I was a cigarette smoker, when I was a smoker, I'll tell you what, I had at one point those, those cans that you get your holiday cookies in? I had a can of lighters. And slowly but surely I've whittled that can down to, over the years, to about 4 that are in my drawer for like fires and things like that. But, yeah, when I was a smoker, man. And pens too. And when I was a lot younger person, I don't know, maybe it's because I was a smoker too, but I used to be a pen chewer. I used to chew the pens, like the pen caps, when I'd have it on the other side. Because I always had, I used to have a lot of jobs where I had to have a pen constantly. I can't even reply to on the floor for dying laughing. Yeah. But yeah, pens and lighters, man, they're but now anymore, I can't. I have so many pens all over the house because I'm always writing ideas down, or I'm writing stuff down, passwords and stuff. There's like pens in every. I get mad if I can't find a pen because there's usually about 3 pens right in front of me all the time, writing recipes down and all this stuff. You count about 20 cookies. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Let's see. 17, 20, 24. If you count the ones in the stove, I'll recount. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, and I got the ones on the bottoms too. 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, that's what I got. So, I'm with you there. I want one. Yeah. Maybe I should be cool and send some cookies out. Maybe I should send somebody some cookies. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. Maybe send out some cookies. Let's see. Why brings all the smoothest pens too? Do you all work together? That's funny. Count the one. Oh yeah. You count. I was gonna say I counted 19 twice, but then I was like, but yeah, you counted the one in there. That's right. I thought maybe I was just missing one. And then I've got 7 in there. 3, 6, yeah, so I got 7 going on in there. Lucky 7 in there. So we got 27. So it was a little more. We had 1 extra. We had 2 baker's dozen and 1 extra. So that's not a bad amount of cookies. But I made them bigger. I think, like I said, I think the recipe called and made it like 5.5 dozen. Or 5.5 dozen cookies. This is what this makes. So yeah, and these are, I don't have anything like this is like one of the cast iron cure cans, 1 of 2 ounce cans. That's about what that size is, comparative to where we're at. You never count the ones you eat. You never count the ones you eat. Exactly, Val. That's a good point. That's a good, yeah, that's just part of the recipe. That's probably already worked in the recipe and I just didn't know it. We got about 3 minutes and then I'll do a taste test and we'll be out of here. Where's the Biggs?
Right there.
Oh, sleeping? Biggs is sleeping. without Rick in the chat. Rick should be back in about a week or so. Oh, she's okay. She's back here now. She's back out. She's checking out the neighbors have their dog out, so she's like verifying that dog's existence. She's venerating the dog next door. Let's see. So yeah, and I think 11 o'clock on Sunday. I think we'll do that. We'll do another Sunday edition, and we'll do a corned beef with corned beef hash on a cloud. That's always a good one. I like those, and I can break out one of the cool griddles for that, and do that. Maybe hang out on a Sunday morning. Well, my Sunday morning, my Sunday brunch. A lot of you guys' Sunday mornings. Let's see. But yeah, okay. So we'll get that up there. Put these that way. But I didn't grease the pan, and the pan didn't come out too bad. It's just, I mean, I was move that back so I could show you guys. Yeah, it didn't come out bad. And I just put that little bit of butter and oil on it, and I used it the whole time. And so that'll take like maybe a little with not a green scratch pad, but one of the green sided things, the two-sided sponges. And all that. Take another look at the other cookies. Are just about, we'll have about a 30-second here, and I'll move this over because we got about 30 seconds and the other cookies are coming out. So I will move these up out of the way. Let's check the bottom of those. Those came out, yeah. Those aren't coming out bad on the bottom at all. I mean, the chocolate's not burnt. The chocolate chips aren't burnt. And that's what I like. I can't stand that and I'm not letting them sit, and that dough's so thick. What I like about this, what I'm noticing about it is that all the chocolate's not running all the chocolate chips aren't running to the bottom. So they're not getting that burnt chocolate flavor, which that's never any good. So there we go. And yeah, that's not bad at all. Those are coming out real nice. That recipe's a good recipe. And these are, well, they're still a little warm. I'm not going to start pushing on them and break them. But let's take these out, and then we'll get the other one. Yeah. Oh yeah, this last one's really nice. They are really nice and browned up. We got those in for 9 minutes, I think. 10 minutes. Those were 10 minutes. But yeah, take a look at that. I mean, these are nice. These have a really good look to them. Yeah, there we go. Nice golden brown on the top. But yeah, let's get those out of there. Oh, they are getting a little sticky. I didn't grease that last one. This might need a little help. Okay. I forgot. I was getting ahead of myself. I didn't grease it the last time. So we'll remember that for when if you guys do them at home, to grease put a little on there every time. I guess I was getting a little too spoiled with it. There we go. You don't want to mess the cookies up the last little bit, last round. But yeah, they definitely could have used a little oil on there, and maybe another minute, but whatever. There we go. We're about down our time anyway. And I got neighbors. If I don't like the way they look, I'll give them to the neighbors. There we go. Yeah, but that definitely, that last round could have used a little oil on there. I'll just set this. I'll set this other one off to the side onto the other sheet and let that cool. But yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, it's not a sticky mess or anything. It's nothing that's going to cause. It just would have probably released a little better. If I would have put a little oil the last round. Wash and go. There we go. Let's see. Let's see. Sweet. Okay, so let's give these a round. I've got a little bit of milk off to the side. So I'll give these a little taste test, and then we'll let everybody get on with their Easter. Yeah, turn my stove off. Turn everything off there. Actually, I'll turn my taco meat off too. But I'm gonna get one of these from the. I'm gonna get one that's kind of. Ooh, that one's still kind of warm. Let's see how they break. How it looks on the inside. Oh yeah, that's not bad. That is not bad at all. And they look a little dark on the monitor, but they are something. That's nice. That'll be a nice one. That's completely dry, but I'm gonna get my milk and do this the right way. Yeah, I'll give them a little dip. Wow, that's really good.
Really good.
Yeah, Ming, did you think so too?
I thought they were amazing.
I think these are fantastic cookies.
Mm-hmm.
You want another one?
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
I think the ones that are a little more done are a little easier to work with, but I'm not going to complain about that. That is really, really good. She does. White Mountain Girl is one of the best cooks I've ever seen. She's a chef, and I think she's White Mountain Girl is actually a chef, and she I think baking is her specialty. Though she can do anything, she's one of the best bakers and does such good breakfasts. That's what she does at the inn she works at. Is she does most of the baking and all the breakfast menus. That's her thing. Yeah, you guys, happy Easter. Hope you guys have a good one. Let's see. All right. Yeah, those are good. Okay, let's see what time we got here. 8:37. So yeah, we did a full batch of cookies from just about start to finish in an hour and a half, just a little over an hour and a half. So that's not too bad. But yeah, if you, like I said, check the recipe out. If I get around, I think actually, I'll put this in my, when I post this up, I'll put the ingredients and the recipe in this one, because this is one to definitely, if you've got some kids or you just like cookies, this is, it makes a nice sized batch, but you know, who doesn't like if you give a few cookies away? Who doesn't mind if you show up at their house with some cookies and all that? But yeah, this is definitely one to try. Whether you like Harry Potter or not, this is that's a good one. And I might throw a little bag of these in the freezer too for later. Make some ice cream. We might have to make ice cream cookies out of this. Mm-hmm. Maybe get some double vanilla and go that route. In the house, man, it's like the best air freshener too. This and these cookies and fresh baked bread, you just can't. It smelled so good in here today. It was a good way to start. We started with subs from the oven and went to taco meat. Now we're gonna finish it up with the Senna cookies. So anybody who lives about 200 or 300 yards from me, they should be pretty jealous right now. Let's see, Twinkies next week. I don't know what we're gonna do for next week. I've often thought. I'll keep that to myself. Maybe we will do. Maybe I can do something. I don't do a lot of sweets, but Twinkies. I've had an idea for doing some kind of a Twinkie sort of dessert for a while, and maybe that's something we'll do. Maybe we'll break out some baking pans and do something like that. All right. But yeah, I hope you guys had a good time. And for those of you who stuck around and saw the bundt pans, if you have any questions about the bundt pans, just hit me up in the comment section or anything like that. Because like I said, I know we have the hardcores are in here in the main chat, but we have a lot of people watching. So making at least 4 dozen. Cookies, I remember. You know, but like I said, Val, this one said this makes 5.5 dozen. So, and I made big cookies. I mean, these are really nice size. These are a nice size cookie. So, you know, I don't know how everybody does that, but yeah, if you guys can hit the like button for me, which most of you I haven't checked. I don't check that so much. Yeah, you guys probably all hit it so far, but if you hit the like button, and if anybody's out there that hasn't already subscribed, it helps me out. I've gained a lot of subscribers this past week. This past week was actually my best week for views and subscriptions, so that's been nice. We added about almost 40 new subscribers this week, so that was pretty nice, and so that's been good. And like I said, we'll do a breakfast on Sunday morning, or maybe, you know what, Easter Sunday. Well, let's not do Easter Sunday. Let's do Saturday morning. I'll do a Saturday morning, and because nobody's going to be watching on Easter. So, and I'll probably be busy on Easter too. I didn't even think about it. I had such a busy week. I had a daughter. One of my daughters bought a house this week, so that's been kind of a big one too around here. So yeah, let's count on Saturday at 11 o'clock. We'll do corned beef hash on the cloud and hang out for an hour or so from 11 to 12, and we'll do that. But anyway, we will. I'm gonna let you guys go and get out of here, and I'm gonna have some cookies and go watch some Harry Potter and eat some tacos. And I will see you Saturday. All right. We'll see you in the comments section. See you.